Hello, hello, and welcome to the Explain It podcast. I am your host, Ingryd Hernandez. What an exciting kickoff to 2026. I swear I've had so much to do, and it's both a good and a bad thing, but mostly good. Wonderful things happening, amazing people being met, reminded of other people that I've met a while ago, like Luke Veer, who have some awesome skill sets that we all can enjoy. I mean, whether you're in business buying or wholesaling, all kinds of stuff. But before we get started, I got to do a little housekeeping. Okay. So, first of all, if you have not signed up for creativelisting.com, I am the co founder of creativelisting.com. And that is where you can find all the amazing assets you're looking to buy through creative or cash, but we focus a lot on creative on there. So please make your way and sign up for this free website. And we're trying to keep it free for as long as possible, as long as you guys participate. And then what's the other thing? Please make sure that you sign up for creativenationtour.com if you're going to be in Arizona. I'm hosting the January 30th event that's happening here in Tempe, Arizona. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have food trucks. We're going to have health and wellness stuff. We're going to have some amazing sponsors, a lot of networking. I think we're expected to have around 700 to 800 people. So it's important that you sign up before my building says, okay, Ingrid, that's enough. No more people can register. So Creative Nation Tour, make sure you're going on there and you're signing up. Hey, Deborah. Hello. Without further ado, that's the housekeeping. And now we have Mr. Luke Veer. Did I say that right?
Yes, one of the few.
Oh, really?
One of the few.
Oh, my.
Everybody butchers it. I don't understand why it's so challenging. I thought it's pretty reasonable, but apparently it's really difficult.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I think it's an exciting last name because it's got 3 words in it.
That's right.
Yeah. What does it stand for?
I have no idea. I've been told it sounds royal, though, so I was like, I'll take it.
It
Sounds good.
does. It does. Oh, I
There's 4 of
agree.
us. 3 in
Is there?
Australia and, 5. There's 1 in Netherlands, 3 in Australia, and me. I've tried to friend all of them on Facebook, but they rejected me.
All the Lukes?
They probably think it's fake.
Luke, I am your friend. No, because I didn't want to say father. But anyway, okay. Well, cool. I'm excited to have you on here. And just some background, I met Luke joining Owners Club. It was like our very first retreat, I want to say. Or did I meet you before that? I remember talking to you a lot in Scottsdale, our first getaway out there.
Yeah, I don't remember where exactly, but I know Scottsdale, we spent some time.
Yeah, it was that fancy hotel that we got to stay at. Well, I didn't stay at the hotel because I'm local. So but we were at that fancy hotel. I don't know what it's called. So yeah.
With the outdoor air misters. That was a cool place.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like a June. So it's like, oh, when you don't want to be in Arizona.
But
oh my goodness. This topic is such an amazing, like fun topic that I really think people get taken advantage of quite a bit, actually, because it's like leads online. Like I would say both that and like whether or not they're effective. So I'm going to ask so many questions today. So I'm excited to have you here because is it not the case that you actually also run a mentorship in this space, or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, I do a lot of stuff. So
Oh, really?
Websites that I rent out to business owners, that's organic lead gen, SEO. Mentorship, teaching business owners how to do their own SEO. Business buying, sourcing leads with Facebook ads. I've learned a lot of things over time, and I've just kind of incorporated it all to further what I'm trying to do. Buy more businesses, grow things, use lead gen to do it.
Wow. And I think, when I talk about running a business, and I'm getting to learn more about business running because I was a corporate leader for so long that you don't realize all the parts that make the company because it's so big. I mean, our company was 33 billion strong, in terms of revenue. And so that's a lot of people. I think we had maybe more than 25,000 people in the company. So I used to pride myself quite a bit though, because the value that my team was providing was so much so that I actually knew the CEO knew me. And so like for having such a big, company, that's not typical. When you're in this company that big, you're just a cog and you get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
So running a company and, being like the throat to choke for anything that happens, good or bad, is both exciting and scary. So, but there's a lot to learn about it too. Like you have to know what cogs exist. And so when did you, like, give us your little origin story? Like how did you get started in this space?
I was at the big company, GE, and I was the cog in the wheel. I didn't know the CEO or anything. I made some friends with people who were higher up,
Mm-hmm.
but very much standard 9 to 5, miserable in a cubicle, not loving it, trying to
Mm.
find a way out of that. Did a lot of side hustles, trying to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually stumbled onto SEO and learning how to rank things on Google, bring in leads organically. And that was a game changer. Built an
Mm.
agency, made a lot of money doing that, but did not love working with clients and working on their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pivoted a little bit where I started building things that I own, just websites and whatever the space was, and I would rent it to them. Kind of
Mm.
like the digital version of real estate, right? It's like
Right.
a rental property for me, but it's online.
That's
And
exactly
that
what I
was
was
the
gonna
difference
say.
maker.
Yeah, like
That made a big difference.
no toilets to fix though, so that's exciting to me.
And no tenant problems either. All
Mhm,
those things go away, and you don't need a ton of money. So go buy a rental property, a couple 100,000, whatever the down payment at least, unless you're
mhm.
going to go creative. And I didn't have to do any of that. I just built a site, move it to the top, rent it out, and I could make just as much, if not more, than rentals. I have some rentals; they don't make nearly as much as my websites. So
No, but they help
everything pushes me
offset
back.
your tax liability, right?
Yes,
Because you own them. Yeah. I always say rentals are, and for the record, I had misaligned expectations on rentals when I first got started in investing. Because I used to say, I'm going to buy 10 rentals. And then with 10 rentals, I can quit my day job. And then I'm able to just go and do, whatever.
right.
And I own 11 properties, 11 houses here in Arizona. I think by the end of this quarter, it'll be 8 properties in a commercial building in Ohio. And I still would not be able to do that. I had it's not active income enough because arguably managing rentals is not as passive as they make it out to look like.
Right.
And uh, I wouldn't be able to quit on just owning that many rentals. I'd have to actually go after something else. So I, owning rentals is really a wealth management strategy more than it is an active income strategy. And so, in my opinion, if you're looking to quit your day job, it shouldn't be through rentals. But
No.
what's your thoughts, Luke?
That's the same thing. I thought that was going to be the play. I was like, I make a lot of money with other stuff. I'll just funnel it all into rentals and just buy a ton of them. I could just keep buying them. So like one month I bought 2 of them
Mm,
and I was like, you know what? I'll just keep the 2. We'll see how this goes for like a couple months just so I could see what it's like. It's
mhm.
awful. I don't want any of these. So it's like, oh, this is terrible. I'm never doing this again. So I immediately pivoted to buying a business and I was like, I'll just keep those. I'm not buying any more rentals. It only
Yeah.
took a little short time to see like I don't want to deal with the tenants. I don't want to deal with the property management company.
Mm-mm.
Not a fan at all.
Mhm. For sure. And, someone like yourself who maybe has high active income and has, high ability to invest, I do have to I do wanna disclose that I am an investor relations director for Awesome ROI Awesome ROI Awesome ROI US is the website, but Awesome ROI Fund 2 LLC, where we raise capital and, deploy into businesses actually, and many of them with depreciating assets, which don't always have to be real estate. So that we help serve folks like you. You're like, hey, I don't want to deal with toilets, tenants, and termites, is what we say, the three
That's right.
T's.
3 T's.
Um, but this fund is only available for accredited investors. So I do know, like, you have to know yourself, like what kind of in between investing do you think you need to be if you're not on like strong either side, right? Like, okay, there is still space for folks to go get started with single family. I definitely learned tons focusing on single family. And I also learned that I'm like ready to move on, like and focus on businesses. So this is why this episode is so exciting for me, because I want to know how you play in this space and how so many people can maybe work with you or understand what you do so that they can also achieve some of their goals in that way. So
Yeah, I mean, I could certainly talk through what happened with the first one and what's going on with the second one. There's a
let's
lot of
go.
changes between
Yeah.
them. The first business, it was spurred on because I was just trying to talk to my CPA, and I was like, how do I just not pay taxes?
Yeah.
And she said, you either buy businesses or buy real estate. And I was like, all right, I've already tried the real estate thing. Let's do a business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean buy business? And she's like, just buy an existing one that's already been around, that's trusted, that it's simple, just in case, everything starts falling apart. And I was like, okay, well, what's the risk? And she's like, well, if it's been around for a long time, it will keep doing that, most likely, as long as you pick the right types.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. I went to this business acquisition training. It was like 3 days. I paid $5,000 for that. Just crash course, fire hose in the mouth of all the information you could possibly get on buying a business.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of ran with it. I hopped on
Awesome.
Biz Buy Sell. I know we have other ones in the Sub2 group that you can use, Crexy and so forth. But I was just on that every day, scrolling for businesses, trying to find something that would have a really like 400, 500, 600K net. Something that was like a 2 to 4x price on the net.
So what is the, let's educate the folks, because a lot of people are used to real estate and they're like, X. I thought that's what was Twitter. What is this 2 to 4x?
This the multiple of the net income. So 500,000, 3x, 1.5 mil. We have to keep it somewhere in a realistic range. There are certain industries like car washes, for example, that are super hot. So they'll go for crazy multiples, like 8, 9, 10 times the net income. But then it's like you have to own it for so long to make the money back. It's not even worth it. So then hedge funds and things will do it because it doesn't matter to them. They just want the long-term asset. But for us, I want money now. I don't want to wait all this time to like build it back. So I was trying to find something in that range. I was actually going after a non-emergency medical tech company. They like drive old people to the hospital, essentially, or back and forth from nursing homes and so forth. But that person's financials came back and they were looking a little funky, like they were trying to hide things with however they did the math and so forth. And I was like, okay, I don't like this. But the broker was really cool. So I had a good relationship with him, and he sent me an off-market deal that was an ice cream company locally. And that one piqued my interest because I knew the company. I was like, I've had ice cream from them since I was a kid. We met with the owner, and he wasn't completely convinced that he wanted to sell, but his wife was really pushing him. And it took him like a month and a half to sign the LOI. We kept like talking to him, coming over and visiting because he was like a few miles from where I am right now. And he eventually signed the deal. I did it SBA. So I had to do 220-ish down to get the loan. And that's it. We bought an ice cream company for like 1.7 million, which was really cool. And then 52 trucks, 3 states. I pulled my brother out of his job and put him in as the owner. I was like, I don't want to be involved. I'm going to be passive. I'll do lead gen for it, but I don't want to be involved. I'm like, you run the day-to-day, whatever. You can have half the company if you do it. So he did. And that was our deal. So I'm passive on that one. We started running some Facebook ads. We tried all the different marketing things like radio, all this stuff, all awful. Facebook ads worked really well. And we booked like 2,200 events in our first 4 months with me running Facebook ads. I spent about $4,000. So that was crazy. And then from there, it's just been a couple of years of him kind of running it. And I've started to try to find other businesses to buy.
I love that. So I actually, going back to how you originated buying this business, and sometimes I struggle because I'll say property instead of business because I've been doing real estate for so long. I'm like, I always say though, buying properties is like the gateway drug to becoming a business owner because there's so much about it that is parallel. Although there's a lot newer stuff in business, but I really do think buying single family houses is a good way to get started with businesses, just because it orients you to certain things you should know: insurance, taxes,
Right.
being responsible and paying your debts, knowing what it takes to, like, I mean, there's still maintenance and things like that in some businesses. So all things that can be relevant. But it's funny that you were looking at that kind of business, because people may not think right away, like, oh yeah, the elderly need a way to get to their appointments, and like the logistics of care in the senior space.
Right.
And then I underwrote a business that is logistics for folks who pass away.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So in the state of Arizona, you don't have, that's privatized, like the logistics of dead people.
Okay.
And so if somebody passes, so think they're in assisted living, or they're in a hospital, or they're in somebody's house, or maybe they got shot, like, I don't know. There's all kinds of ways we all pass away abruptly, car accidents, etc. Some of those will go to like medical emergencies, like, right. So think car accident. Okay, now they're going to go to the hospital, and then somebody has to take them from the hospital to the funeral home, or like to where they're going to be taken care of for the forever. And I didn't even think about that. I'm like, that's a
What's the
business that's
term
not
for
going
this?
anywhere.
I never
Huh?
thought about this. Is there what's the like keyword? What do people search to find this? What do you even
Uh,
call this niche?
I would think dead people logistics. I don't know.
Dead people transport? That
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
sound
Seriously, right? So what to call it? So when I was underwriting it, it's actually really close to the numbers I needed, and she's willing to do seller financing.
nice.
However, the reason why I didn't actually pursue is because it was not a lifestyle fit. Okay, this company has to, like, we can't determine when we pass away. People pass away at all times of the hour. So it's a 24/7 business, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, do I want to deal with the callings and the whatever? I don't, and
No.
even if I was to tell, like, I don't know, my sister or my brother and pull a Luke like you did, like, hey, I'll give you half the company if you just manage. I mean, I can still see myself getting that phone call and be like, I need somebody to help me go pick up, a very heavy person who may have just passed. Like, I don't know.
Gotta pull
I was
somebody
like,
else
I don't
in.
think that's a lifestyle fit for me. Yeah. So, anywho,
Doesn't
oh, we
sound
got a lot of engagement in the chat. I love this. So please, as you guys have questions, you please ask them, and we can see them. And we would be happy to help. So we got Kay Johnson saying, this is very interesting. Thank you. Peter saying, each property is a business in itself. Absolutely. That's why I say it's the gateway to like buying a real business, because you can see all the headaches that happen. And it's like, okay, could you do that at scale? So,
don't want to deal with it with the two.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doesn't
Arizona
pay enough.
is interesting. Now there are some cities in some states that actually provide that logistics, because it is logistics. It's you're taking the body from one place to the other. And some states, some counties do that. Like they actually have like a part of their like city services. Arizona does not. So somebody's asking, are you a native speaker of English?
Ooh.
That's interesting. It's probably a weird one. I don't know. That contact seemed kind of weird. Yes, I speak English and I speak Spanish. Okay, Luke, which resources or websites do you use to find businesses for sale?
Biz buy sell.
And is that your favorite?
That's my favorite. I haven't used that for this latest one. I didn't use it though. I just ran ads to find it. I didn't feel like going through that list, because if you're on the websites that everybody uses, you're with every other person on the planet that's also looking for the same thing.
Exactly.
So you want to go off market, and then you don't have to deal with brokers and a little bit more work to get the information from people and create that relationship. But you don't have to fight with other people and have bids raised on you and LOIs broken and all these other things.
Yeah, yeah. So one approach is to contact brokers, and arguably, the fellow I work with, his name is Manish Pouchier. He's like, the best way to buy businesses is to actually buy your initial business, and then all of a sudden you're the hot girl. All the brokers will call you. Are you are you feeling that same experience after buying your ice cream company?
People don't. So right after we bought it, we were trying to buy another. We were trying to buy a car wash still, and
Mm, mhm,
the brokers didn't take you seriously when you just called up and said whatever. But as soon as I said I owned that company, then they're like, oh, okay, and they just send me whatever I wanted, because it's like
mm,
the proof that you bought that already. They didn't ask for financials. They didn't give me any of their normal shit, like all the questions and things like, I don't know if you can afford this. Like, send me all this information. Send me your,
mhm.
retirement accounts, where you getting the money from, all that stuff. You just skipped all of that because I already had something.
That is
That
very
was
true. Mhm. It's very parallel to me saying when people ask me, "Should I go get my real estate license?" I'm like, "Stop asking me that question because my answer will always be yes." It just gives you a level of credibility
yeah,
that brings down the walls with a lot of agents and brokers because they know you're also a professional in the space, and because there are a lot of tire kickers and a lot of, hooligans in the wholesaling and space, that when somebody has a license, there's like a level of expectation. I mean, you've had ethics training and stuff like that. So to your point, buying a business now brings that level of credibility that like gets you to a different perspective. Now, I
right.
will say buyers are liars and sellers are worse. I was going to say that earlier when you were talking about the paperwork that was, amiss.
Phony.
Um, and so that phrase is transferable not just in real estate, but in business too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Um,
I've noticed this on the first one. I can't even share some of the stuff legally from the first deal, but we found out a lot of things after the fact, and I thought we did pretty good due diligence. I had a massive list of questions, and we still ended up with some stuff where we're like, this isn't right, and had to talk to a lawyer and so forth. So due diligence is a huge piece.
yeah. And when buying a business, you just mentioned lawyer. Do you think you could buy a business without a lawyer, or should you always have a lawyer?
I think it would be stupid to buy one without one.
I love it. I love that you said that because I had folks asking me about stuff like this, and I was like, "Wait, why are you buying without a lawyer? Like, you need a lawyer."
You absolutely need one to cover to CYA.
Yeah,
CYA, cover your ass. That, like,
yeah,
the one I'm trying to do right now is going to be like a 3.54 million dollar deal. There's no way I can do that on my own. I absolutely need the lawyer. I don't care how much he charges, 15,000, 20,000. It doesn't matter. If I get locked into a $4 million deal that's terrible, I'm going to have to pay that back. What would you rather do?
yeah, yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the SBA loan, which is something you took advantage of.
Yeah,
And I'm curious, I have folks in my circle who aren't huge fans of SBA because they take a long time.
they do.
They also require a colonoscopy. No, I'm kidding. They, I mean,
Yeah,
they have
no,
a
it's
lot of
invasive. That's a good way to say it.
yeah. And then not just that, but because of some of the guarantees that come along with it. So it's
Yeah,
my understanding, and maybe you can correct me here, is that when you take an SBA loan out, it's kind of like taking a student loan out. Like you can't get out of it. It's like it's there forever and you can't even bankrupt your way out of SBA.
yeah. There's no way out. They locked up retirement accounts. They locked up my brother's house. They locked up all kinds of stuff. So it's like depending on how many assets and things you have, you got a lot of stuff on the line if you screw up. So you got to make sure you got the right deal, or that you
Right,
can
right.
figure it out.
But if you have nothing to lose, go for it.
Then it won't matter.
Yeah.
They'll lock up the business assets.
Yeah. If anybody is interested in business buying and can't afford a $5,000 3-day workshop like Mr. Luc van der Veer, then I would suggest buying the book called Buy and Build by Walker Diebel. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, but we got to see him on stage this past week at the Owners Club retreat out in Miami. And it's so funny because we have a room full of probably 3 or 400 people. Some people were not in the room because there was supposed to be closer to 500 of us, but a lot of people were networking. But I was in the very back. My sciatica was bothering me. So I was like standing back there. And he talked about the kind of cap rates that exist with businesses that have, and by the way, this is a bell curve, right? So this is the average. The average cap rate for your normal, I'll call it boring business, right? Think laundromats, convenience stores, like things that are very typical in your community. The average cap rate for those businesses that have been around for at least 25 years is 33%, which is wild. You can't find those kinds of cap rates in real estate, really. You can't. I mean, unless you're like developing. But and then when he said that, right, we have this room full of people. I was the only one in the back, and I screamed. I was like, woo! Because I've now, pivoted into more businesses, and
Right.
the cap rates is a huge reason. So how would you define cap rate? Like, I know when I first started real estate investing, cap rate was like a scary term because I was like, what is cap rate? What does that mean?
I don't even consider it at all. I'm just looking, don't even look at it at all. I'm just looking at profit margin on the business. That's it.
Wow. Okay, guys, cap rate. So it's how much is the business making, the NOI, divided by how, like in 1 year, divided by how much you're purchasing it at. So a lot of businesses, like we're looking at like a construction business, like the NOI versus what it was making, it was amazing. Meaning like, okay, so if a business was making, I don't know, call it 200,000 NOI a year, net operating income, and they're asking $1 million for it, then you would take those numbers. What is that? 20%? Right?
Oh, don't have me math.
Oh God. See, guys, you don't even have to be good at math
You
to
don't need
get
any.
yourself.
I don't use any of this. I just have a general buy box of things, and if it's within the range, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. What is your buy box? Yeah.
Well, so
20%.
there you go. Okay, so the price will be somewhere 1 to 5 million. I know below that, they're not going to have enough infrastructure, and it'll probably be a pain. Above that, I don't know how much value I can provide. Might be able to do some, but it'll be in the hedge fund range, so
Oh,
somewhere in
Luke,
there.
you are shorting yourself so much.
Profit margin somewhere 25 plus. I would like higher, obviously better. 5+ years in business, 10+ employees. The idea being longer in business, probably safer. More employees means less stuff on you, and ideally somebody on the team that can either be elevated into that top role, or I mean, I suppose I could pull somebody from somewhere else, like hire somebody in, but if possible, ideally take the team and just pay them more, move them into that top position so I don't have to be there day to day. And then an easy business. So I'm not going to do something I have no clue. Like I'm not going to do anything engineering or, I'm going to try to stick to some kind of like blue collar trade or something more simple so that if everything fell apart and I needed to jump in, even though it's probably not going to happen like that, I'd like something that I can understand quickly.
I think that's fantastic.
Just for safety.
Super cool. Okay, I'm going to put that book I was talking about. Somebody was asking. It's called Buy Then Build by Walker. Again, I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. Diebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Diebel.
Yeah. He was fantastic, a fantastic speaker. And again, I don't know. Maybe I was super caffeinated, but I was in the back of that room, super participating. Like he would ask questions, me not knowing he was being rhetorical. I would totally just, he was like, what's better than starting a business? And then like he asked that, I was like, buying one. And he's like, oh, I was like, oh, his next slide was supposed to say that, but anywho, but I was like, man, we're the cream in that room. We can't help it. We rise to the occasion. So, hello, Mingxing. Hopefully, I said your name right. Yes, like cap rates are amazing, and even Peter is surprised by that 33%. A lot of this data is in that book, and then he also has a mentorship. I don't remember what it's called, but a lot of this data comes through his mentorship too. This is not, I don't get paid. Maybe I should to talk about Walker Diebel, but I thought it was pretty amazing. His start was in St. Louis. He was a college guy with a really fancy university. And it was all about VCs, right? Venture capitalists, starting your own business, like having a startup, innovation, blah, blah, blah. And then he gave us the statistics about starting your own business, and they were abysmal. Like
Fail.
so many fail.
Yeah.
So many fail. It's like, and then if I think about even like the agile mentality that I came from in my corporate environment, what do? You don't just like clean up everything you're doing and start anew. You make slight improvements. It's like a continuous improvement process. So if you take that philosophy to a business, like go leverage the 20 plus years of the sweat equity, the stress, and all that good stuff that a business owner has put into their business, and man, just have at it. So
yeah, it's like the marathon's already going, 10 miles, and I just pop in at mile number 9, and I'm like, all right, I feel pretty good. Let's finish this.
that's a great analogy. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. So that was your first one. Did you already get a second one, or you're working on your second
one I'm working on. So we're in the underwriting, bank review, looking at financials and things.
Okay. And then do you hire anyone to do your additional due diligence? Is that something that you do?
Yeah. I have a lawyer that I use for the law stuff, law-related things, and then I have a due diligence person that I pay for extra beyond what I'm going to do, just to make sure I'm covering myself.
Second set eyes. Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so tell me, is that all? Is that your whole team, or how many folks are involved in your decision making?
Just me, and I send stuff to them and just take whatever they say under advisement. I'm going to have a team for future stuff because I'm running out of family members that can run things. So this one, I'm going to be on my own.
You got a good one in Arizona. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Right on. Actually, speaking of which, then do you have some like performance clauses in your operating agreement? Like, okay, you're the operator, I'm the nerd, but here's what our responsibilities are.
I'm going to have to figure that part out. That's coming up. I haven't had to deal with this yet. This will be coming soon. I got to see if the bank's going to do it first.
Okay, cool.
The metric or the numbers work out pretty well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If they say it's a go, then I'm going to have to start figuring all that out, and that'll all be brand new. Never done the performance type stuff before. So this is why we need the lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like your brother loves you, since he seems to have still be performing, and that's not even a thought that's crossed over yet.
So. He bought another business too. So he bought a landscaping company a few months ago.
Oh my gosh.
He's doing that one on his own.
I had no idea the crazy multiples landscaping companies do that focus on maintenance. Not even the ones that focus on like hardscaping, like expensive projects, because those also have expensive materials. Apparently, and you can keep me honest if you know this, if you don't, that's okay. The story goes that like equity firms really love landscaping companies that have strong maintenance. And then what they do is they roll up all these landscaping companies to really accelerate the NOI and really make it worthwhile in certain markets. So I thought that was super interesting, because I was talking to my friend John Rodriguez from California. He bought a landscaping company out there, but it has a strong component of construction. So like you need your licenses, right? And some businesses are going to require some licenses. So if you're going to get like an HVAC company, guess what? You're going to have licenses for that. If you're going to go get even a painting company, that requires a certain level of licenses. An assisted living place, somebody's going to have licenses. So businesses do come with a little more complication, but for good reason. So things to consider. If you were to start fresh right now with no connections, are you okay, Canna? Just kidding. Would you try investing in buying a business, or would you try investing in investment properties? Oh, he may not have been in the beginning of this.
The business, but I would do things a little differently. So you're mentioning it's a roll up, is the industry term they're using, as a roll up. you find things that people will generally lump them together. So you take a bunch of different companies, you attempt to buy something in the same industries or things that are related, put them all under the same flag, and then sell them, and the multiple goes up. So instead of selling it for like, 2 to 3x, now we could sell it 4 or 5 because it's over a certain threshold, like of net income coming in. Once you get into like the million, 1.5, 2 million, and so forth, the higher that net income goes, that multiple kind of ramps up like a bell curve, or like I'm not thinking of the word, but the front of a bell curve, super, super fast.
The fun part.
Yeah.
The hockey stick.
Crazy.
There you go.
The hockey stick. Thank you. So I'm going to do that with paving. The ice cream catering was just a one-off. That was just a good deal, so I did it. But it probably wasn't the best strategic move because I'm going to do something completely different now. But this, paving I can do. There's other ones, so you just can buy a bunch, lump them together, sell it all as one big package. Make a lot more.
What I love about the story, and hopefully that also tempers some folks who have super analytical brains, I don't know, like mine, where you're like, do I go? Do I do it? Do I not do it? And it's like, look, man, if you're somebody who figures it out, just do it.
Yep.
I'm not advising anybody. I'm not a lawyer, but just do it and figure it out. And that's really what business is. Like you're the figure it out person.
Right.
And by the way, who doesn't like ice cream? Like, I don't know if even lactose intolerant friends of mine love ice cream.
This was a very much a figured out. Like I have background in ice cream. My human resources is my background.
Oh, okay.
Reduction in force, layoffs, not ice cream. I'm trying all these different advertising things. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Trucks are breaking down. I'm like, I don't know what to do with any of this.
Yeah.
My brother's hiring mechanics. It was all very much figuring stuff out as we go.
I love it. And thank you all for the hearts and the thumbs up who've given that so far. If you guys are finding value in this episode, please make sure to like and subscribe. Look at me talking like an influencer, because I love to have guests like Mr. Luke on this podcast. And this tells me that we're right on the money. So Canna Tech Guy said, so even without as much upfront capital, since you are starting fresh, you would still invest in the business then?
Yeah, so like I had some money to do this with, so I could do the SBA loan. I couldn't buy the whole thing in cash, but the SBA loan was fine. And then, if I didn't, I would have tried to do some raising. I've never done that before. I've never had to. Some people have that skill set, like I know Ingryd does. That's who I would ask about that if you don't have the money to do it.
Yeah, totally.
Very good deal.
And again, I think that the book by Walker Diebel actually gives a lot of this perspective. And I would encourage all of you to read it. By the way, some of you are on Instagram, which I love, but to have a better interaction with me and so that I don't forget that you're actually watching, come over to YouTube. So I have Nenny, the realtor, on Instagram saying, could you please share the key metrics and supporting evidence you typically look for when evaluating a purchase of a business?
Well, so those were the key ones, were the big ones I talked about. The price range, I want somewhere 1 to 5 million, 10 plus employees, at least 5 years in business, profit margin, ideally 25% plus. And aside from that, it's questions on how the business runs. So it's just other things, due diligence, that you find out, like how many customers do they have? And out of all those customers, what is their customer concentration? Like, do they have 3 customers that make up all their money? And if they lose one, they lose 30% of their business? Can't do that. Do they have 1 million customers? So each one only represents a tiny bit? That's great. How do they get customers? Do they just get it randomly through referrals because they have a really strong name? Do they have to run ads for it? Why are they getting out of the business? Does it suck? Are they lying to me? We got to do some digging and find out all of this information.
Yeah.
So we can try to uncover, like, if this is good for us. I
love it. So the term that we used to use is customer mix or customer segmentation in my data nerd days, for sure. Because you don't want one customer to leave you and then there goes the business in the toilet. I actually think the latter portion of what you're saying now is more what she was asking versus what your buy box is. Saying like, hey, what are some of the things that you should consider when you're evaluating the business? So I love your answer because it's going to depend, right? Like if you're buying a law firm, which by the way, in the state of Arizona, you don't have to be a licensed lawyer to own Luke, maybe we could figure something out there. And then, or if you are looking for like a painting company, right? Like how many guys do you have on staff that aren't going anywhere? So there's so many things that you have to understand about a specific industry so that you know what questions to ask as a part of your due diligence. And I would say a foundational component to all of that is give yourself enough time. Like you need enough time in your due diligence period. So like in real estate, our due diligence period 7 days typically, 7 to 10 days, right?
Right.
In businesses, how long do you do due diligence?
It's not supposed to be super long, but I mean, it's taken months, a couple months, something like that. It'll depend on what you put in that LOI, but it usually drags on because it's only how fast the person can respond. You request all this information, and then maybe they don't know how to do it, or they have to have their accountant do it, and this just goes. But like I can give you more of the questions. I pulled up the list of just kind of what I started with. We've got, so what's their revenue for the last year, their last 3-year average revenue, profit percentage. We talked about number of employees and years in operation. Why are they even selling? That was a big one. Got to get that personal motivation. Why did they start the business originally? What is their ideal goal? Like what do they want this to look like? So I can kind of figure out, like, can I work in some kind of creative structure? What can I do to make them choose me over some other buyer? What are the biggest challenges they're having at the moment? What are their most valuable customer resources, customer mix? What was the impact during COVID? So like if some kind of crazy thing happens again, how did they deal with it? Did it have any impact on it? Where are clients distributed geographically? Who are the major competitors? How big is the total addressable market? And then financial statements. So like past 3 years tax returns, matching P&Ls, so I can see that they're not hiding anything.
Nice.
And those are just some of the basic things.
Just a little foundation.
Yeah.
Peter said cost of customer acquisition.
Yep.
Arguably, most businesses are not sophisticated enough to know that.
Do they have any IP?
Ooh, intellectual property is what it stands for. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Environmental issues. That was something that we had to look at with ours. Like where the land we're on is right next to the airport. And apparently that land has some kind of special designation where we are. So it's like there's just weird stuff that comes up that you'd have no idea unless you had some people doing this extra due diligence.
Yeah, totally. And, like we were saying, the more you do it, the more educated you get. Like there's things I didn't know that I was supposed to ask when I was doing that dead people logistics, due diligence. Like, okay, how old are the vans that you use? Is there specific training that the people who actually move the dead bodies, I don't know how else to say it, and they do actually, they have to go through like a stretching process, like safe reiteration of safety before their shift so that they're not pulling their back. That means that your insurance is probably going to be higher because you're likely going to have, problems with one of your staff, like pulling their back or doing something like that. As some of these, there are apparently though, like some machines or tools, or I don't know what you call them, that help them move, like to kind of offset the weight. But there isn't anything super significant right now that helps them do that. So it's specialized on how you train them to carry that weight. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. But anywho.
Sounds like it. One of my students did crime scene cleanup as a niche. Ooh. So there's something related. That was an interesting one. I was like, ooh, didn't know that. You got to pick a big city for it though. That has a lot of violence. So like Detroit.
Wow.
LA.
Of course. Instagram, we have the Jess Tham. I'm diving into business buying. I have a client who's selling a solar farm in Vermont, which is pretty hands off, but I'm doing the research. Have you come across any solar farms?
That's an interesting one. So no. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention was for me, I'm not going to buy something unless I know that I can add value. Now, I have another skill set, so I have lead generation. So I can generally add value to most businesses, but it's much easier to do business to consumer instead of business to business. So like solar farm couldn't do SEO for that or really run Facebook ads for that. But demolition or plumbing or tree services or concrete or masonry or any of these other blue collar ones all day. So it's like, that's another thing that's helping me choose.
I love that. So that's part of your buy box. Okay, I love that. Can we dig into that a little bit, because that's your expertise. So if somebody wanted, first of all, because you're really great at gathering leads, and I feel like lead gen is the bloodline of a business. If you don't have it, you don't have a business, period. You have a hobby, as Pace likes to say.
Right.
So with that, first of all, I would love to like codify all the questions you just had and then like send it to anybody who reaches out to say, hey, go follow Luke van der Veer. And I always have to like sit up when I say your last name so that they can reach you. But like, what was I going to say? So tell us a little bit about what that skill set is. It's like the word or that movie Taken, have a special set of skills, like
special set of skills.
Yes.
A website is essentially a business card. And unless you get it into the right hands, it's completely useless.
Right.
You can have a $25,000 website and it'll sit there 20 pages deep in the search results and nobody will ever see it unless you use search engine optimization, SEO, to move it to the top of the search results. So it's really just that process of doing things on the website and off the website to push it up the search results so that people see it. So when somebody types in like concrete repair Dallas, you're the number one person they see after all the paid ads.
Nice.
And if you can move a site to there, whatever the site is, it becomes valuable and you instantly start getting traffic.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. And is it that easy, or is there a cost? Like how?
No, it's not. It's definitely not easy. But there are certain things you can do to make your life easier, like foundationally content. People most companies and a lot of the businesses I find, which is how I know that this is going to be a great buy for me and I'll be able to have a nice advantage here. They'll have a website that's just, a few sentences. There's no detail. There's like on the homepage, they'll have like a list of services. There'll be like a tree service and it'll say like tree removal, tree trimming, tree pruning. It'll have just a few things. There'll be maybe 200 words on the whole site. And I'm like, how do you generate traffic with this? This doesn't do anything, right? So I'm taking each one of those things, turning them into a paragraph and writing a little bit about each one. Like, here's how we do what we do, and using the words that people are searching. And then building out more pages on the site, one page for every big service they have. And then if they serve other areas, and building out pages for each location that they serve.
Wow.
And then if there's Google listings, right, we have the one, you can build one of those for each one of the cities. So it's somewhat complicated to like learn and do all that. But if you apply it all, the ROI is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Probably better to learn it than pay somebody to do it, because a lot of the people that you pay are just terrible.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. I feel like people get taken advantage of a lot in this space. And because it's so like ambiguous, it's really like, I have no, by the way, I put myself in that camp too. Like, I have no idea how much that costs, because it's also something that costs you, right? Like, what if you are really popular? Does that cost a lot if you're the like more popular?
It's costing me to wait, what?
Okay. So to put stuff, like let's say I want to run like Google ads or something, and it's actually very popular. Wouldn't that be that like
paid? Yeah, paid. Yeah. Google ads and Facebook ads are working off how many people are doing that specific thing. So the price will just keep going up.
Yeah.
But if you do something organic, that's you're competing against people, but there's no like direct cost like that. It doesn't go like up crazy if 30 people are doing it, which is nice.
Okay. And then what do you do? Okay. Cause a lot of what we're talking about, businesses that like our B2C, many of them are commoditized, right? So, you're talking about, at least in my neighborhood, we got tons of tree services, grass. I know we're in the desert, Arizona, but still tons of landscapers. They hang out. So like, how do you stand out from the many, 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 many same people that are in your service.
You just try to do it better than they do. So this is part of that due diligence when you're looking at it to see, like, does this make sense? And like, just for business buying, don't do a tree service. The insurance is massive. Somebody just falls out of a tree, there goes your income for the entire year. So skip that one. Great for lead gen, terrible for business buying. But
yeah,
I don't
totally.
have a good answer for that one. It's really just trying to do it better than the other person. So I just purposely wouldn't pick something that's going to be in a super competitive area.
Yeah. So tell us. So since one of your guidance is to maybe just go learn it on your own, is that something that people can go and learn from you, or how would that work?
Yeah, I mean, so website rental coaching is my lead gen company. It started because I was doing this myself. I was building sites and renting them to people, and they're like, "How are you doing that?" And I was like, "I mean, I could show you." And it turned in from like one-on-one coaching to like a group coaching thing.
Did
And
I write
now
it
we have
right?
all kinds of business owners. So like, I just had a med spa and real estate are my new two favorites. I had a real estate person coming in, and he's been like closing all kinds of deals because he put up a lead generation website for his real estate brokerage. So he's just getting all kinds of stuff from that, which is really cool because he keeps sending me pictures of commission checks.
Nice.
And then the med spa guy was great because he's like, I want to kill my job, but my wife and I have a med spa and that's her thing. So the first thing he did was just optimize some things for her med spa and like treatments. I don't know, like lip injections and all these crazy things. They're like thousands of dollars for all these services. So he does a few things and all of a sudden he's making a ton of money just from his med spa. And he's like, all right, now we got to start working on me.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's like helping the business owners learn how to do the stuff so they don't have to pay marketing companies $3-4 grand a month.
Exactly. I actually underwrote a med spa out of Pennsylvania, and I was so excited about it. And then I have somebody out here in Arizona. They're more on the clinical trial space, but which apparently can still be run through I don't know all the ins and outs. I was talking to them. I'm like, I would just be your landlord, but sure, if you want to pay me $20,000 a month in rent, for sure. But I quickly recognized, reviewing their go-to-market strategy, that they need some business consulting. And I was like, maybe I can consult for some equity, like, hey, there's things like this is definitely buy nerds for I don't know who, because their strategy just seems way too optimistic without actually putting the work for, as you mentioned, SEO and like a strong marketing strategy. It's like, it's one thing to go find like a nice space for it to be in there, but
Right.
the services that they're able to provide are extremely like unique. And so I'm like, oh, I'm really liking your strategy. But no matter how good your products are, if no one knows about you, it doesn't matter. That's why SEO is so, so important. Yeah.
Right. It's the buried business card. I just keep picturing somebody like handing those out. Like, unless you get it in the right hands, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And did I write your website correctly? Websiterentalcoaching.com.
Website rental coaching. Yeah, and you can throw in another one in there too. I built a little mini training because people asked for it. Localjumpstart.net. That one is specifically for Google Business Profiles. So if somebody has a business now, or they have a Google Business listing, it's an hour long. You can go through that and just do all the stuff. And if you do all the things in that video, you will make money. It's impossible not to make money. You could do just the first thing and make money. So check that one out too. But yeah, website rental coaching is a little bit more interactive, me one-on-one and that kind of stuff. But the other one's just like an hour long.
Nice. Wow. I love freebies. Like, guys, so much value coming out of I mean, we're going to have you back because I want to know, were you successful in acquiring your next business? What were the things that you learned? Let's do a little retro, if you will. You bought the ice cream place. What is one of the biggest aha moments that you got out of buying that like, had you known before, maybe you would have pivoted?
I should have went bigger. I was looking at the total number. It's like $1.7 million. And you see how much money that is a month that you're going to have to pay. Like imagine the mortgage on a house like that. Like it's massive. And then you're like, okay, really don't like this. And the interest rate is huge because it's prime plus like 3.5 or 3.75. So it was like what, 11% or something when I got it. So that monthly payment's ridiculous. And you're like, well, what if happens if this whole thing goes down? Then I got to pay this and I just owe all this money. But had I known that it would have worked out like this, or it'd be okay, it's just a little nerve wracking. I would have picked a company that was a lot larger, more net income, so that there's more of a
buffer,
more money that you can take from it.
Yeah.
Right. Because the net is what's paying that loan.
Yeah.
So if I had more of a gap, that means more money for me to just keep now. And that's how people can get rid of their jobs and things with like one business. You just buy something that makes more.
Well, and it's all a process, right? Because one of the things that we don't have a strong KPI around is mindset, right? That leap from where you were to actually leaping to buy that business, I'm sure also it shows like a hockey stick, right? Because you went into an unknown thing. For me, It's like jumping into a river that's full of crocodiles. Like, that could feel that way, like, are they there? So, I mean, kudos to you for having the courage, really the courage. Business owners have lots of courage. And for me, I have a very strong conviction of how much they play into our economy and what they do to make this country amazing. And so I do feel very strongly about what I'm saying, but the fact that you even jumped into it, I think you should be super proud that you had that courage and that spirit to do what you did, regardless of the number. But I'm glad that you said that, because I would think that you might needed that stair step to get to where you're at now, saying, let's add another zero at that end.
Bigger is safer. Bigger is safer. There's just more
Bigger
people,
is safer.
right? More layers of people that can help you, management and other things. So I might not know what I'm doing, and it might take me a little while to figure it out. But at least I don't have to worry about losing 70, like all of the employees in like a day, and then being like, oh my God, I got to hire everybody.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And because a lot of you are in real estate that come and watch my channel, think about it. It's between like single family versus multifamily. You actually are safer in that volume of apartments that you have on a multifamily, because one person leaving isn't going to give you zero occupancy, but in your single family, it is that. So that's wonderful. And then what is one thing, well, I don't know if maybe I've now jaded or biased to your perspective, but like, what is one thing that you're super proud of that you've done with that first business you bought?
I'm just proud we did it. I don't know. It's like I've been told that things are hard before, and like there's a lot of risk, and like my parents are super risk averse. I'm really close with my family, and anytime I go over, they're always asking me what I'm up to. But then if I share anything, I immediately get all of the resistance, because on the aggressive side, like I'm way on the one side of super risky, and they're like complete opposite, way risk averse. So I will just constantly hear like, oh my God, this is that amount of money is crazy. Like the monthly payment's insane. Like, are you sure about this? Like you could lose everything. And I just have to ignore all that. So I'm just happy that I just ignored it and moved forward anyways. As long as you know that you could figure it out and you're okay with that, taking a little risk, it typically works out for me.
I agree. And as they've said, fear and faith require you to believe in something you can't see. So why not pick faith? Yeah.
I have faith that I will figure it out, or
that's
I
right.
will find somebody who can help me figure it out.
Absolutely. Very good. Luke, this has been a treat. I loved having you on the podcast. I hope that you can come back. I think we're going to help a lot of lives, even with this podcast. I think you're already doing such goodness for this country, and appreciate what you're focused on. And yeah, I would love to have you back and see like, hey, how did it all go? What are some learning lessons and things that you would do different, etc.
Yeah.
So, okay, awesome. Well, where can people find you and follow you if they're interested in this space?
Well, so if you can spell my name, that's what I am on Instagram. Website rental coaching is kind of the mentorship for lead gen and teaching it for businesses and so forth. And local jumpstart, I just thought of this. I think it's at $7. So I will put Ingryd, her name, first name, as the coupon code, so you can get it for free.
Just so you
I'm
know,
really
people
good.
misspell my name all the time.
Yeah, so if they spell your name correctly, they'll be able to get it for free.
Yeah, INGRYD, mother truckers. All right, let's go. Cool. Thank you so much, Luke, for being on the podcast. Really enjoyed this one, especially since it's like in the lane that I'm in right now.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's very
Thank you for
exciting.
having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And then, guys, Explain It podcast is here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Arizona time. So please come by, ask your questions. We love to have amazing experts. If you guys have anyone that you think I should be interviewing, let me know. We're trying to book out our next 6 months just so that we can rinse and repeat this bad boy. And of course, we're going to have Luke back on to see, did he buy that business? And even if he didn't buy the business, why not?
We'll
So
know in April.
right on. Thank you, Luke. And thank you, everybody. See you guys next week.